So in this part, we are going to talk about first what should be included in this home care support. There are four different issues, but we are going to focus on two. Another one, we are going to give you a very concise review of the current technology solution for this home monitoring and activity of daily living support, and then our solution. Then I'm going to introduce our, in the Chiba University, we formed a team. Actually, it's from engineering people and a nursing school and a medical school. We are going to do the interdisciplinary approach to this problem. And I'd like to also show you some video about the technology we develop, and finally, it's the future work. First, let's see, is it robotic research approach one of the solutions or not? So there are several reasons here. In Japan, the first one certainly is this. We mentioned several times, let's just skip it. The second one is the cost containment. Means we have to control, as a country, the government has to control the cost. Let's just have a look at these statistics. Hospital care for each, like a patient, for every month, it costs about 480 US. It's euro. Here it's euro. And for the institutional care and the facility care, about 2,800 euro per month. So basically, the home care is quite cheaper than that. So we still don't have the real data there. So there's a very clear trend that I think it even has been shown in the data shown previously. There's a trend shift from this hospital care, institutional care to home care. This is one. The third one is actually Ambassador Miyoshi also mentioned that it's kind of policy, economical policy. Let's say the government try to develop a new industry for the next economic growth. Actually, Japanese Ministry of Economy, Trade and Industry issued a report. It's called Japan's Robot Strategy. It mentioned that until 2020, the care robot market target should reach this 50 billion. That's the scale. So let's have a look at this public acceptance of the robot, especially the care service. Again, Japanese government had a survey about these issues. Elderly care robot use conducted in 2013 by the government say, do you want to use care robots if you are a caregiver? So another question is, do you allow your caregivers to use care robot if you need care? So the answer to these two questions you can see here over 63.2 for male, and email is a little bit lower, but it's still very high. And for this question, so if you are a care receiver, then again for the male is higher, and the female is a little bit low, but still very high. So basically, Japanese public, they show very positive opinion to the robot for care use. So yeah, next one is this one. Why? Because actually, as Professor Kodate introduced, I had a stay in Switzerland. It's certainly a European country. That time, several researchers from different areas were together to discuss the difference between the development environment between the Japanese and the European society. So there are a lot of issues, for example, religious issues, culture issues. But they say this issue might be, everyone agree that this is one important factor. They say from the very beginning, the Japanese society are exposed to this Astro Boys and this Doraemon, maybe you know that. It's the robot cat. they are always standing on the justice side and to protect, to help to protect the weak side. So Japanese people, society, from the very beginning, they accept that robot is for us. So that's one issue. Then later, maybe to another very important development is, maybe you know the Honda Asimo and the Sony, these pet dogs. They all, let's say, Japanese society accepted those robots from the very beginning. So maybe this is actually very important issues. So, well, for the European, then the results say how to have a very good environment in European society means please make more those good animations. And then maybe you have the similar good public acceptance. And again, another survey says here. So which point is important if you choose a care robot? So they do the survey to even 1,842 people, and they have different points there. For example, easy to operate, economic, like issues, safety, eligible for long-term care insurance. Insurance should cover those things, and a compensation scheme in case of injured, and there are a lot of different issues. Well, for us, after we see this survey, we think we really can improve our development process from technology-based development to needs-based development. Basically, Japanese society, they give a lot of positive ideas to this robot development. So what should be included in home care support here? So if you see this environment, we think 4 different aspects. One is home monitoring. First, you have to see what happened to this patient or the care receiver in the home. The second one is the daily living activity support. For example, the meal, the base, going to the toilet, this kind of daily living. Another one, actually, in my laboratory, we have done for a quite long time for this area, is the function assist and the training support. You have to do the home training, means home rehabilitations, to improve them, to maintain this function. The final one is the prompt responses to the emergency cases. For example, falling down, or even to do some other emergency, deal with the other cases. So again, our basic stance is that we don't want to develop the device, the mechanism, and the robot, or say some robot, to replace or substitute the human carers or the human care workers. We're going to assist or support, the caregivers and the carers. And let's have a look at this. For example, sometimes some of them are developed like products in the market. You can see that for the monitoring service based on different sensors and sensor systems. Basically, in Japan, there are several. This one is a product. It's called the iPod. Basically, different kind of electrical appliances. They have the sensors attached that, for example, this iPod. If an older people push the button to get some hot water, so this message will be also sent to his sons, remote sons, or other family members. This is called the sensors attached to the gas meters, to the watt meters, and the thermal sensors. And also even they have some buttons for the old people. In the case of the emergency, they just push these buttons. And also we have some kind of fixed robots there, for example. This is for the talking, this is for the security. And we can classify those existed approaches into 2 classes. One is, we call this house distributed sensors. They have different type of sensors distributed along this here, the rooms. And well, so one problem of this approach is that there definitely will be some kind of blind spots there. And if you think it's the home environment, sometimes they will change their furniture layout. And so it also increased the cost to maintain the system. This is one part. The second approach will be the portable wearable sensors. So, for example, you can see wearable accelerometer systems and also the others. But there are also limitations there. For example, the constraints to wearers, definitely. Also, currently, we still don't have any good solution for example, for the bedtime. So you cannot wear these sensors during the bedtime. And also there's a problem, the sensor itself will possibly be damaged in accidents like the force. So there are also problems. And what we need is special and temporarily seamless, reliable monitoring method, basically. So they are not so continuous in space or the time. So our idea is like this. Our idea is we're going to we have developed autonomous mobile robots for home biomonitoring. Well, you can see this illustration. A robot basically is following the subject and measure in his performance. We also do the behavior recognition, so we can do the behavior monitoring. And we also evaluate the function, for example, the walking function itself or the reaching. In terms of upper limb is kind of reaching and grasping. And we can also, through this recognition, we can estimate their life patterns. And also with our robot, currently this is ongoing research. We are using this robot to do some kind of non-contact vital sign sensing. So this is first survey. The second one is about the care robot itself. So according to this paper, it's quite a recent paper, we can classify them into two classes. One is the commercialized one. You can see here is the Beijing, for example, Sanyo. It's a product, but I don't think you can see that in the market. They stopped it, I think. Another one is the meal. So you can have, you see several companies develop their own products. So this one is quite famous, you know, see the paddle, it's a paddle. So it's quite famous in Japan, also I think in Europe. The others, for example, they are platforms like SoftBanks, there's a Pepper, and there's a company called Blue Frog. They developed the Buddy, and also Lunar is actually this one. The class 2 are the basically under development, some research there. So moving interface in European, I think there are several one. What's that? Giraffe, I think what is the one? This pill. And also the German company developed Care-O. There's a series, Care-O Bot 1, 2, 3. I think there's one. And we also have in the South Korean, they are developing this walk-bot. Certainly there are several other companies. For the transferring from, for example, sitting to bed, there's one, it's called the Japanese robot nurse. No, it's called the Riba. So in the next page, we are going to have this one again. So we try to also, again, classify from the viewpoint of the autonomy. So the first one is this, the robot will do the support by itself. It's autonomous support robot. In this category, you can see here, for example, Palo. Basically, you don't need a human intervention there. Palo 1 is the NTD data. They develop a robot called SOTA. It's a communication robot. And this one, I don't know, it's a product. You can get it in European market or not. It's called Sawayaka. It's excretion during the nighttime. Well, this one is the Riba. It's also autonomous. They can hug the people and move and to put it onto the bed or the chair. So this one is the quite a famous Sanyo Beijing robot system. You just put the people there, then the robot system will do all the things for you, but it's not so real, practical system. So another category is the care worker support robots. So in this category, we certainly have the power assistant system, for example, power suits by, it's a Japanese company. And here is also another Japanese company. This one is the HAL, developed by the Tsukuba University. Now they are also, we can find the product in the market. And this Panasonic developing the basin support robot. It's kind of just help the care worker systems. So our idea, our solution is, again, between that, it's, we are focusing on this one, telecare support robot control. So by telecare, maybe you know there is a robot control scheme. It's called master and slave. So for example, in here is the master is a remote operators. For example, care professionals or even family members there. For example, I'm here, but I want to do the care to my mother in for example, in China. So maybe I can use this system. This system, the very important point is the real time. So it's remote. So we need a real time control system. And here, our basic control idea. So it's not a robot itself, it's a control. If we can develop this control scheme, we can apply this to different kind of robot system. So this is a slave robot. It's the on-site in the home. It's care support robot. Two ideas is, well, basically it's one. One is cooperative control, means this robot should always observe or estimate human operators' intention. And also, meanwhile, paying attention to the care receiver's motion, because there are two. Another one is this robot should be also autonomous, because they have different environment, and also they have different body. And this robot should also compensate the delay. So the idea is, at the very beginning, this robot will just follow the human operators. Then after the robot can confirm that the motion is quite certain, then this one will switch to its autonomous control. So this is our basic idea. Now it's under developing. Well, the advantage is we can do the telecare by remote family members or caregivers. So by realizing this, we can narrow the gap in care service between different areas, for example, populated or depopulated areas. No. So we have a comparison between three classes of care support robots. One is autonomous. So basically, from the very beginning, we are against this autonomous one, because then it's actually will be used to replace the humans caregivers, so this one. Another one is power assist. The third one is our telecare system. We find that, so with this one, if we integrate all this evaluation of all these indexes, this one should be better than others. So we don't have time to say every items. For example, let me raise one. For example, the reliability. Power assist, actually, you can find a product in the market, so it's very good. But for the autonomous system, currently, there are several objects they are running. But in this research area, we estimate that without another 30 years, you cannot find a very sophisticated system there. So it's for the another one, for the time for moving to the site, for example, for this one, certainly the robot is always in site. In the home, it's very good. But for the power assistant, the caregiver should move to the site, to the home environment. In the case of the populated area, it takes a long time. While this telecare system, the human being, the human cares, it's not necessary for him to go, but he needs some time to wear these control devices. So it's a middle. So, well, certainly the basic idea is here. This telecare system can enable the care depopulated areas. So we have to go fast. In our university, so this is interdisciplinary approach. We have a monitoring robot here, and to always warmly watching the behavior of this care receiver. So in the case of the robots decide that it's necessary to call the help from remote operators, he will send a message there. And then we are going to have this telecare system there. These two, if we combine these two, then might be a quite realizable, feasible solution for the home care support. And in our university, we not only we have the robotic people here, we also have the professionals from the nursing school, and we also have the researchers. They are working in the social environment, for example, the housing, the community, and the social insurance. We are going to combine, integrate, approach together to this problem. And let's see the progress in the first home monitoring. And we realized this implementation, the basic implementation are there. For example, this robot, if we bring this robot to a new environment, this robot will build a map by itself, like this, with the sensor installed. And this robot can, for example, tell the difference between these human beings and the environment. So this human subject will be, separated from its environment. Certainly, this robot make use the information of this map and some furniture, for example, the tables, the bed, using the information of this map. Well, this is just one example. Since it's a robot, it can move to see. So in that case, for example, I cannot see Professor Kodade there. So in that case, since the robot knows the environment, so the robot will try to move to here, to see there. So we compared several different approaches. So with memory, without memory, so we can choose one efficient one. So the robot can actively exploring those. So this one, we are doing the behavior monitoring. So the robustness is very important, right? So we asked several subjects, they have different kind of walking. By some simulated, we have some kind of band to make the constraint to their joint. So they show the different kind of walking, but the robot can always recognize them as the same like motion. So currently we can recognize 7 different motions. For example, walking, standing, or sitting, or falling down, lying down. And recently we are, so this one is showing that. Recently, for example, especially in Japan, sometimes people, they sit on the floor. A special floor is called a tatami. So they have quite a long time within a day just sitting there. So we are also recognizing this kind of motion. And another ongoing project is we try to recognize the motion with those small tools. For example, toothbrush. So he is doing toothbrush or chopsticks to recognize the motion of chopsticks, because especially for the dementia patients, this kind of motion is very important for them. So this, actually in our lab, currently still in the laboratory, we are we arrange our laboratory into different kind of home layout. So we also developing different scenario we call for this. For example, this scenario is called when old people coming back from outside to first wash hands and take out a cup of water to drink and go to watch TV a little bit. So time is 1 hour. So we test different kind of motion, different kind of activity there, and to see the robot is possible to follow the subject successfully and recognize that.
At the top, where the head would be,
well, this is a very usual connect sensor. Certainly, we also use the other laser light finder there.
enable the robot to avoid obstacles and maintain distance as it follows someone around.
So this robot will not go too close to the subject, but always keep currently it's 1.5 meters away from the subject.
It can distinguish between different actions. Here, the robot is watching over a man who is lying down. When he falls,
Oh, so let's skip to skip to this. That it's okay. Yeah. So another one is this robot. We are cooperating with another professor also in our group. We have a system to control to read the motion of the controller operator. Certainly now we are developing another bi-signal-based interface there.
cameras. The operator can monitor the images through a headset viewer.
So the sense of the robot will be transferred to these human operators. So the operator can know the environment of this robot and do the motion.
Grab soft items without damaging them.
Still now we are doing the experiment in the laboratory, under very strict controlled scenarios. And not this. Let's do it. Yeah, this one. Actually, we had a joint project. We wrote a joint project. You can see the leading university is not here. Is the EU side is the UCD, and the Japanese side is the Chiba University. We try to bring this robot to the real practical use, means the home environment. And unfortunately, we could not get this. We could not get this, but we are keeping challenging. This shows the fast move vision tracking. Then you can see this is basically over 1,000 Hertz. So this high-speed vision basically is necessary because this robot should observe the motion of the care receiver. So let's move to this. Let's do another bit. So we actually test a different task for this robot. This one is to move a box there with different weight. Actually, now the robot is compensated for this real-time control. Now, even without this data globe, we can just use the sensors attached here to do the similar things. So our future work here is basically we are going to testing the effectiveness of both robots in the real care facilities home environment, and finally integrate them together. So hopefully we can contribute to tackle this loneliness of the old people. So finally, let's go to another page. This is this is our team members. So we have members. 5 of them are here, but we also have other collaborators. So final page. Okay, this is the final page that we have our special thanks to ISCA Japan and Embassy of Japan in Ireland and the University of College Dublin, and also for the Chiba University for supporting us. And we have our best wishes for a great success in the coming. Actually, now it's celebrating 60th anniversary of the establishment of diplomatic relations between Japan and Ireland in 2017. So thank you very much for your attention.